Welcome back, folks. Today, we will be taking a closer look at the ruins known as the Uncle Harvey's Mausoleum in Duluth, Minnesota, supposedly built in 1919. And we are told this structure was built in the winter of 1919 by the Whitney brothers of Superior, Wisconsin, and it was designed to offload gravel from ships and barges. It operated for only 3 years before being abandoned, as Lake Superior's rough waters made the system impractical. This system involved a concrete pillar-supported conveyor belt that carried gravel from the offshore hopper to the shore. And we are told, immediately post-World War I, there was a construction boom in the city of Duluth, and Harvey Whitney aimed to streamline his sand and gravel business. His company collected sand and gravel from the Apostle Islands in northern Wisconsin and throughout northern Minnesota, loaded it onto barges, and brought it to Duluth. To avoid delays at the busy canal, Whitney proposed unloading cargo into an offshore hopper, where conveyor belts would transport the material to land. However, Whitney's plan depended on the construction of an outer harbor to protect against the lake's severe storms. The city never built the harbor, leaving boats unable to safely approach the hopper in rough waters. The lake's waves also battered the structure itself. By 1922, the project was abandoned, left to deteriorate in the lake. Harvey Whitney had invested heavily in the project, hoping to profit from both the gravel business and the outer harbor construction. Instead, the failed venture earned the nickname Uncle Harvey's Mausoleum, a testament to Whitney's defeat by the forces of Lake Superior. And on the lake walk nearby, there used to be a plaque on site that had read, quote, "He tried to deal with Lake Superior on its terms and lost," end quote. The concrete structure known as the cribs, or the icebox, once featured a pillar-supported conveyor belt that ran to the shore. The pillar, popular with swimmers and slackliners, eventually succumbed to years of erosion and collapsed into the lake sometime before February of 2015. Divers who explored the site noted the column was made of timbers encased in concrete, much of which had worn away from the waterline. The structure itself had also suffered from the elements, but it remains a popular summertime attraction for swimmers and divers. And we are told that the Whitney brothers' operation was based out of Superior, Wisconsin, over the bay, and that the Whitneys ran a dredging and rock crushing facility. This concrete structure was part of the crushing and unloading process, and actually had a tunnel that connected this building to Minnesota Point, all the way over a half-mile away, which would have had to have gone under the canal somehow. Yet this tunnel was barely a footnote in the historical narrative. Insane. And that brings us to our first clip from friend of the channel, the Duluth Urbex channel on YouTube. And according to the narrative, sand from the Apostle Islands and gravel from Grand Marais were transported to Duluth on a small vessel called the Limit. The company also operated a tug, the William A. Whitney. The Limit would dock at the concrete structure, where a steam-powered clamshell device unloaded the sand or gravel into the hopper. A conveyor belt carried the material to shore, where it dropped into a tunnel leading to waiting trucks. On federal lake charts, the structure is marked as, quote, cribs. And comparing the structure to the historical narrative, this really doesn't look like it would be very efficient in the use that it was designed for, as we were told. I mean, it doesn't look like it carries much material here. There's a beautiful shot of the harbor in Duluth's winter. You can see there's 3 different chambers in this structure. Being a hopper, it really doesn't seem like it would be very efficient. And would that conveyor belt have run all the way down between those small little windows in the center? And what were all these side sections for? And yet this looks like a man door, and there appears to be windows down the sides. I don't quite understand this layout here, if this is designed for what we're told it was designed for. And these few shots are pre-2015, showing the pillars intact. And she looks like Noah's Ark in this shot, rocking on the waves. And this next clip is from local diver and badass Jim Richardson. He also goes by Lake Superior Aquaman. And in this undated photo, it still shows a conveyor belt over the concrete pillars, and we can see the building already looks old. And this is the direction in which the conveyor belt would push the material. Here's a close-up look, and it's already crooked. This would have had to have been pre-1923, so it couldn't have been 2.5 years old at this point at the very most. And look at the roof. So are we to believe that old Uncle Harvey Whitney decided to build this, assuming there was going to be a break wall installed? Then he had to close up shop because there was never a break wall put in, and it was too rough a seas to load and unload safely. Yet they were still able to do it for almost 3 years? Something doesn't add up there. And I came across this photo, circa 1920, and it would have to be post-1922, as the conveyor belt is no longer attached to the structure here, as it sits derelict and crooked in the water already. Even if this was the 20s, it would still be only a couple years new, a couple years old. And we look down, we see train tracks down here, and what is now Canal Park. And the bridge, there seems to be traffic on the aerial lift bridge, and that didn't happen until after 1929, so this would have to be, according to the narrative, after 1929. And look at, what is this tower on the piers? That's kind of interesting. But yeah, circa 1920, eh? So this was supposedly built during the winter time of 1919? Must have taken less than a year to complete. It had it going for 2 years, almost 3, and then just left it. And somehow also had a tunnel that went all the way across the canal. I mean, none of this adds up. I mean, look at this structure. It seems that they were trying to repurpose something that was there that wasn't designed for what they're intending. But what do you folks think? Please leave your comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.